Oh.
Hi, everybody. This
Hello.
is the Planning Commission meeting on Tuesday, July the 5th. Again, myself, Betty Jo Parsley, I serve as president now. Anthony Davis is to my left. Sarah McMillan is to my right, as well as is Fred Holmes. All four of us are a member of the Nelsonville Planning Commission. And I don't know that if anybody's interested, but we do need a fifth member. And I'm just taking the liberty of saying it at the opening of the meeting. So if anyone out there is interested, you would want to send your letter of interest to the Nelsonville City Council Clerk, Andrea, and I'm going to give you her maiden name, Smith, because I don't know her married name. I know it, but I don't. So just a point of interest to let you know. Sarah serves as our secretary. Becky had gave us 2 months ago, I believe it was, a presentation about some things that she'd like for us to address. And one of those is updating the comprehensive plan. And the other had to do with some implementation of reviewing the code and maybe changes that have taken place because of different circumstance, whether it was a court matter that was settled and it's different now than what it would have been before. But I'm not positive. I think tonight we're just generally going to talk about things like that. And I'm going to ask each one of you, or Sarah, do you have an agenda for tonight?
I don't have an agenda. Could we do
The minutes?
approval of the minutes from
Okay.
the last regular meeting of March 3rd?
Has anyone had time to look at them and have any questions?
I looked them over and they look fine.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Okay,
I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
I second. Okay. Maybe now is the time. Presently, our zoning board only has one member on it. There have been vacancies there for a long period of time. And Becky, as our code enforcement officer, Becky Barber, has some different matters that are coming before her that will need action. And so we've been asked by her, with the approval from our law director, Gary Hunter, to be sworn in temporarily and serve on the board along with the present member, who I believe is still on. Her name is Shelley Abraham. I know Becky has made contact or is attempting to contact her. So based upon what happens with Mr. Hunter and any information that they would have that they would think we should have to consider, we will be sworn in tomorrow night here at City Hall at 6 o'clock. He's coming out of Columbus, and so he's asked that
6 or 5?
6.
Okay.
He's asked that we come over and be present. So that's just an update, and anyone here that would like to comment on that?
Well, yesterday you had said 5 or 5:30, so it's
Yeah,
6
she
now.
called me today
Okay,
and said
great.
6.
Okay.
That's the difference from what we originally had been told.
So then when we meet, are we going to meet on the zoning board schedule for the next meeting, or will we meet on our schedule, a special meeting, or is that to be determined?
I think that's to be determined.
Okay.
That will depend upon, I'm guessing, how much business Becky would have to bring to
Okay.
us.
I'm sorry, does anybody have an extra pen?
No, I have
Mine.
one.
One of mine quit writing.
That's just what mine did.
I went through 6 or 7 before I left the house. I'm going to throw them all away. Okay, Sarah, would you like to?
I was wondering, I think at the end of the last meeting, we were presented, like you said, with lots of things from Ms. Barber. And I admittedly, since that time, have not really looked or thought about any of this stuff, just with all the craziness that's gone on. But I was wondering if maybe we should prioritize these items in terms of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the things that we want to work on. And those are the vacant zoning code, where we would look to maybe add verbiage for vacant properties, giving the owners' names. Something about camping, there's currently nothing in the code. Farm animals, the rental code point. Trash cans, rummaging through trash cans, and then recreational vehicle parking were the things that were brought up. As well as, you said, updating the comprehensive plan. And then we had also discussed looking to hire an outside professional to help us possibly revamp the code in a more comprehensive manner.
Can I interrupt you just for a minute? Do we all have copies of the old comprehensive plan?
I have one.
Anthony?
I don't believe so.
I can send it to you electronically.
Okay.
Fred, do you have one? It's a yellow.
I
Am I right, Sarah?
believe I do, but I'll have to go back and
Okay.
check. But you have it electronically?
I do, yes,
Okay. If you could send that to all of us, I think it would be helpful.
absolutely.
You can do that, Betty Jo, electronically?
No, I have it in print, in
In print,
paper print.
okay.
I'll be fine.
Okay.
I have the zoning code.
So I think looking at the overhaul as sort of a separate, the overhaul of the comprehensive plan as kind of one bucket, and then these smaller points as another bucket. I just wondered if maybe we should try, I don't know how you guys feel about trying to prioritize these smaller items.
I think that's a great idea because this is a lot to encompass. And with there being a vacancy and only 4 of us, it does make it more difficult when you're attempting to do some of these things. So I guess we need to, ask each one of us and looking at them, what do you think the number one most important matter is that we would try to resolve for Becky? I mean, Anthony, I know, has expressed when he's spoken with Becky before that it's very difficult for her to sometimes be able to accomplish what she's trying to because the code doesn't give her the leeway to do that, or there isn't enough information in the code to let that happen.
Well, that's what she's said, yeah. I mean, I feel for her. It seems she needs some help.
Well, they're sort of in the same category, I guess, the camping, where we have, it's getting ready to get warm weather, and we had a lot of vagrants last summer here that were living in many different locations. I mean, I think we were shocked at some of the places that they were. So, and then I looked down at the next paragraph, and it's the farm animals in the city. So, they're similar in nature because they're dealing with outdoor matters. So,
Would you like to lift camping as number 1, farm animals number 2?
Don't know, how do the rest of you feel about that? Should camping be the priority since we're getting ready to start?
Yeah.
I think it should. I mean, probably realistically, we're not gonna get anything through until, maybe late summer or fall, but I think that would be a good one to start with, probably.
All right.
And then, farm animals is number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because there seems to be a lot of animals. I mean, I've seen goats.
Yeah, I just don't understand that. People
on Franklin Street, or pardon me, on Jefferson Street. I mean, and somebody called them nanny goat. Well, I don't care what kind of goats they are. And they also have chickens. I mean, the goats come down the street and then the chickens are following them, and you're like, is this in Nelsonville?
Well, it's not sanitary, I wouldn't think.
No, well, I'm sure you're right. Okay, so we make the farm animals number 2.
I'd like to make recreational vehicle number 3.
I agree, Fred. I
Okay.
think that one's probably gonna be, a little bit more cumbersome. If you look at the things that are listed within there,
Well, should it be first?
I think that one's gonna take a while,
Okay,
honestly. Which, I don't think we should shy away from it because of that, but
Oh,
I
no.
think if we do some of these smaller type items first.
I think it would be a great help to Becky if we were able to address the camping. And then the farm animals with it, because again, they sort of coincide in a way. And then number 3 is the recreational vehicles, okay?
So then that leaves, the trash cans, and I don't remember exactly what that one was.
People are putting their cans out with whatever items are in it, and some of the people camping in the town would, especially in the summertime, I think, and
It's every night at the car wash. I'm gonna have to lock up the dumpster. I can't lock up the trash can, but the dumpster, I mean, I almost wouldn't mind so much, but they get it all over the place.
you don't know whether they're hungry, or I see many of them recently looking along the curbing and down the sidewalk. They're looking for cigarettes. I mean, it took me a long time to figure out, because I thought, why would you so diligently be, so precise about it? But that's what they're looking at. I see them pick them up.
All right, so we have that, and then, the vacant zoning code, and then the rental code to add a definition for boarding rooms. That might be a good 4th.
Right.
Yeah, that definitely needs addressed.
Okay.
Is that adding to the existing rental code, the definition for boarding rooms, right? That's
Right.
number 4.
Yep.
And then what do you think comes next? Is it the trash?
I think, yes, I think that kind of goes hand in hand with what is prior to it.
I'm not sure what we could even do about that.
I don't either, but I think we could look into it at least.
I think that'd be something
Wouldn't-
for the police.
Wouldn't she have in her ordinances, or not her ordinances? Daggone it. This is terrible. My brain has died for the day. It's been worked to death.
It is.
I apologize. Wouldn't she have in her ticketable ordinances, good gosh, I finally remembered what I wanted to say. Wouldn't there be a ticket that she could ticket?
Well,
these-
to me, I think that's something the police would have to do. I don't think she could just.
Okay, well, maybe that's what we need to do, is to try
Maybe, I
to.
don't know. She can.
So if I could chime in a little bit,
Good.
Becky can give citations. That's not a problem. With the trash cans, I'm not sure if she's listening, if she can call in, but the biggest thing with the trash cans is people not putting them away. So our current code is very specific. It says cans shall be behind a screen, as an example. Well, if you go look at new cookie cutter subdivisions anywhere up north near Columbus or any of that, all of those come, if you look at them, they have a white fenced in area off to the left or the right of the house that's got 3 sides on it that people put their cans in. And that's not necessarily feasible for what we have in Nelsonville, because everything is older homes. We have very few new homes going in. So how do we change that code to be more applicable to Nelsonville? And again, the biggest the biggest issue is people just leaving in the streets.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
that makes more sense.
all right, well,
And then so we can look at the vacant verbiage as number 6.
Mhm.
Okay, so then do we want to say for next month's meeting that we have something, that we've done a little bit of research independently on camping and have some ideas on what specifically we think maybe needs added, addressed, tweaked?
Sure.
Mhm.
Okay,
And I think also by next month, we should be able to at least read the comprehensive plan
okay,
and begin what we've accomplished, what has yet to be accomplished,
okay.
what has changed.
So if I may add, we got a comment on the Facebook page. And the comment on the Facebook page was asking about making Nelsonville ATV friendly.
Well,
So is that something that's been on I believe that was on the table before I moved back to Nelsonville, but I don't really have the background on it. I've had lots of ideas shared with me from many people that if all those ideas were consolidated into one plan, it would probably sound very good. However, I've heard a lot of different ideas.
I know that went through general council, city council, a couple of times, if I'm remembering correctly. And I thought that the last that I'd heard is somebody said that if somebody wanted it to happen, that it needed to be on the ballot as a referendum.
no.
Am I remembering that correctly?
I don't.
I don't remember that.
Okay, I mean, it's not,
I thought they just tabled it.
it's not anything we've ever discussed.
Yeah, And
But
I think council is currently considering that, but I think that's something that had been tabled in the past.
we could talk to planning and development
Can
and
we,
see.
can we wrap that under number 3?
Uh-huh.
okay, so we would join that with the recreational vehicle parking. I mean, that's something that's listed on here. Am I correct in understanding that?
Correct, because I think it's related to other items in there. Matter of fact, it talks about if 4-wheelers are allowed in town and they bring campers and tents. So it's kind of like you can't have one without the other. So they are interconnected there.
Again, I would think that we would want to have a joint meeting with planning and development to tackle that one, or before we tackle that one.
Well, you're probably right. I'm sure that does she chair that committee?
She does.
Okay. I'm sure she would be willing to do that. So we'll ask her, but yeah, maybe at our next regular meeting, or if she wanted to.
Perhaps, so the July meeting?
July meeting?
Because if we plan to take on camping at the next meeting
Right,
and the comprehensive plan,
we'll have our hands full.
right, and then, so if we slate that for maybe July.
Okay. But we'll ask for a joint meeting. Planning and development. And then, of course, for the, if it's the same situation as we are now, meeting virtually, then, people can attend by wearing a mask, or they can call in, as this last caller did, to, ask questions, and we'll try our best to answer them to the best of our ability. Okay, have we covered each one of these, do you feel?
We have. The only thing, this professional rewrite, of the zoning code, which I'm all for. I would just, I don't even know how to begin that process, how to get estimates on something like that and what the appetite would be with council for that. But I think that if we did go down those parallel paths of us knocking off some of these smaller ones at the same time, trying to do that, they may intersect at some point, or it may make some of the stuff a moot point because it would be written into the rewrite anyway. So I think maybe, Scott, that's something we work with you and discuss and counsel and, I think it's worth at least exploring, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Sounds good.
Taking on the rewrite of that will not be an easy task. I mean, it's a huge report. It has great information in it. And even the last time when it was passed, and it was expensive for council to do. And now with the state's budget the way it is, I don't know how much funding, will be cut from us here and what will happen. But
Yep, absolutely.
I think that it's important that we do it because it makes a statement about Nelsonville that we care about our community. And sometimes I think that people forget that it's our responsibility if the street sweeper can't run on our street because we can't afford to have a man running the street sweeper, then it's our responsibility to take our broom and our dustpan and go out and sweep up in front of our own place. So
yeah,
it's about pride. And I think the comprehensive plan definitely addresses a lot of our pluses that we have here that people tend to forget too. Okay. Tell me what else was on your mind.
it does it for me.
So at the next meeting, we're going to be prepared to talk about camping and at least some preliminary discussion about the comprehensive plan.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I think each of us know Becky has worked really hard to try to make changes, and this is a support document for her.
Yeah.
And I hopefully will be able to arrive at some conclusions that then we have to remember. All we do is recommend to council what our findings are, and then they are the final key in this puzzle. So hopefully we'll be able to help her in this fleet that she is working so desperately to accomplish for us.
Absolutely.
Okay, Anthony, anything from
No.
you?
Mhm.
Anything you'd like to talk about?
No.
Fred, how about you?
I'm good.
Okay, and Sarah has said what she felt, unless you have something else you'd like to add.
I'm good.
Okay, well, we started a little late and we're gonna end a little early. We're completed our business for the evening. If you have questions or need more information, just feel free to call City Hall at 740-753-1314. That is the city manager's office, and the code enforcement is located there, and just ask for Becky and I'm sure she'll be able to help you in any way she can. And if any of you have ideas that you'd like to present, write them down and mail them to the city of Nelsonville in care of the Nelsonville Planning Commission, and we'll see if we can help you with them. Thank you for joining us this evening.
One final note, Wanda said that she was listening. She sent a message on Facebook and she said July is good with her.
Great.
Okay, great. All right, well,
Okay.
we may move it from the first Monday because of the 4th. I'm not sure what the calendar looks like, if the 4th of July is in that.
The 7th is the first Tuesday, so we would be safe to stay away from the holiday
Okay.
at that time.
All right, fine. So we will meet on that matter on July 7th with a joint meeting for City Council's Planning and Development and our Planning Commission. And next month, we will be meeting the first Tuesday in the month, and we will be discussing the two things that we chose tonight, the camping and then reviewing the comprehensive plan and determining what direction we need to go and where we need to begin. Fred, does that sound okay?
Sounds great.
Okay, all right. Good night, everyone.
You want to make
I
a motion?
apologize. I move that we adjourn.
I'll
I second.
Okay.